I hate to say it, I'm a little bit surprised at Tegan Cooch. You know, you want to look at the stats from last year, not the best. Also didn't pitch that many innings, only 36.2 innings pitched, 5.4 ERA with 10 starts. So he came in spots and was somewhat of a relief pitcher. There had to be some serious work he put in this offseason, some serious improvement for Josh Elander to believe in him that much. But if Tony Vitale believed in him that much last year, I have confidence that he'll really improve and he'll really be a bolster to this pitching rotation, especially as the Friday night ace. And then when you can't tackle as your cornerbacks on these screens, especially receivers, you can't tackle receivers, then you have to stack the box a little bit more. Or then you have to widen out a little bit more. So Tim Banks kind of got in this chess match with Mike Bobo and Kirby Smart because on the outside, Tennessee wasn't tackling. So then when you get to a drive that's a 14-play touchdown drive with 13 run plays, because you're so widened out because you need a couple more guys out there to stop Zachariah Branch because you're missing tackles, that's what happened. And in terms of disappointment, I am going to choose one of those top seeds, and I'm also going to choose a top seed that's up 2-0. I don't like what I'm seeing from the Washington Capitals right now. As weird as it sounds, they're not playing as well as I think they should be, especially against a young Canadiens team. This team is talented, but they're still super young, and that game was 2-1 yesterday until, 0.7 seconds left when they had an empty net goal. I mean, I'm not really taking that into account. It was a game the entire way. I'm going to flip to the other side of the ball, and not saying that this position group wasn't great last year, but this year, they're elite. I'm talking about that defensive line. They are one of the best in the country. They're 6th in the country in opponent rushing yards allowed per game with 84.9, and they're 6th in points per game allowed with 12.5. That defense has taken a step up this year, and they're tied second. They have 29 sacks in the year. When Jackson Arnold came strolling back into town and his new Auburn Duds, they sacked him 10 times. So it's going to be a big test for the Vols offensive line. And if you want to talk about environments, it's hard to go win on the road versus any team in the SEC. Since 2021 when Josh Apple took over, he has an 8-9 road record against SEC teams, which is the second best in the conference. I mean, that's crazy. A losing record is second best in the conference. That just shows you how hard it is to go win on the road in this conference. And then you look at Alabama, 15 straight home wins. Kalen DeBoer has not lost a game at home as the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide. I mean that's very impressive. And when you look at it, a lot of it comes down to momentum. When you miss those tackles and when you got SEC Nation going, the crowd's hyped up for one of the biggest rivalries, when those breaks start to go against you, it's a little bit harder to rebound from them than it is in Neyland Stadium when you got 102,000 backing you. But when you got 80 or 90,000 going against you, it becomes a lot more difficult. Those momentum switches become a lot more drastic. So it's really going to be a lot of an emotional test for the Volunteers, and they need to keep level-headed, and the coaches need to make sure to set that tone going into this week.
And just to stress one more time,